When we built the 65 Mustang Fastback back in 2014, Ridetech was the first call we made when it came to suspension. Now at the time, we wanted to do an air suspension, so we put their shockwave system on, and it's worked great up until this point. Now unfortunately, we had an electrical issue due to a defective battery, and it shorted out the controller. But while we could have removed the controller and upgraded to Ridetech's current system, we decided to take this opportunity to install some coilovers. We reached out to Ridetech and told them what we were doing. They recommended their HQ Series Coilovers. Now these are more for handling and ride quality, which is exactly what we're looking for. They have the TQ Series as well, which is triple adjustable. These are going to be a single adjustable monotube design, which is perfect for our application to provide excellent performance and excellent ride quality. We're teaming up with a 12-inch 150-pound spring for the rear and an 8-inch 450-pound spring for the front. The Ridetech coilovers we're installing are designed for the suspension on our car. Now we do have Ridetech suspension front and rear. Now we do offer a front coilover version that'll work with a stock arm, but the rears will require a 4-link. We're not going to do a tool list for you because we had a custom application and the tools that we use are not going to be the ones that you're going to want to use. But if you're installing Ridetech coilovers, all you'll need are basic hand tools. Now before we remove the shockwaves and begin the installation, we're going to have to assemble our coilovers. We're going to start here with the front. Basically, you want to grab the shock itself, the lower collar, the upper collar, retaining spring, these little spacers, one of these screws, these spacers here for the bottom, and then the spring itself. You begin the assembly by taking the rebound knob. We're going to thread it all the way in. This is going to give us enough clearance to get the collar on the top. So you have it all the way in, hold on to it, and unscrew to remove the knob. Okay, grab the upper collar, just slide that on, and then grab the retaining ring. Get that right in the groove here at the top. Okay, now we're going to install one of these little shims on here. Install the spring. Now before we put the adjustable collar on, put a little anti-seize right here on the threads. That'll make it a lot easier in the future when we want to adjust our ride height. Install that spacer and then the collar. I'm going to turn this and you want to adjust it to basically 0 preload. So right when the spring kind of stops moving, give a little half turn there just to make sure it's tight. Then install the set screw. Once it's assembled, reinstall the adjuster. Okay, and we have this threaded all the way in. These are going to be 24-way adjustable. We're going to turn it out 12 turns, so we're starting right in the middle. The last step, install the spacers. With our coilovers assembled, we're going to begin the installation with the front by removing these lower shock bolts. And we're going to move on to the top. We're going to disconnect our air line. There's probably going to be a little bit of pressure in here. And now we can remove our shockwave. We're going to grab our HQ coilovers and put them up into place. Just tighten this by hand for now. And I'm going to reinstall the shock bracket. And we're going to get the upper bolt in for the mount. You have to use a screwdriver to kind of line this up. Okay, I'm going to go back through now and tighten everything up. Okay, repeat the process on the other side and move on to the rear. Now the front's finished, we moved on to the rear, and the rear again is pretty simple, it's just going to be 2 bolts, lower bracket and upper bracket. Now we're going to disconnect our air line. We're just going to put this up out of the way for now, because who knows, in the future we might put air back on this car. Okay, now we're going to grab our coilover. I'm going to use a jack here just to get this up into place. All right, and then tighten them down. All right, repeat the process on the other side and the installation's finished. All right, now the way you want to set this up is once you have all the suspension finished, get the car off the lift, roll it back and forth, bounce the suspension a little bit to get it to settle. Then we want to take some measurements. If the car is sitting too low, then you're actually going to need to adjust the preload. If it's sitting too high, you actually might need different springs. But what you want to do, basically measure from the fender to the ground. So measure straight down. We're at exactly 24 inches. Now what you want to do now is jack the car up. We're going to use the lift until the point where the suspension is completely topped out, the tire is still on the ground, then we'll take another measurement. So now the suspension is completely topped out. So we're going to take the measurement again, and we're at a hair over 26, which is 2 inches. You want to be between 1.5 inches and 3 inches of travel. 1.5 inches is going to be the minimum. 3 inches is about the top of where you want to be. We're right in the middle, so our ride height is good and our suspension's set. Our Ridetech HQ coilovers are installed, and the stance is absolutely perfect. It's exactly what we're looking for this car. Now again, with a car lowered like this, you will want to get in alignment before you drive it. Now you guys are wondering, how's the car ride? Well, the weather unfortunately is not cooperating today. We're going to do a full review and test drive this car in the very near future. As far as the installation goes, if you have a bag system, you're converting it, it's probably going to take a couple hours. If you're actually installing them from scratch, figure probably more like 4 to 6 hours, but you'll be back on the road in no time. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you click on the CJ button so you subscribe for future videos, and click the corner up here for more videos for your Mustang.